Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
All right. So tonight we gathered together and we're going to discuss the Pope that declared war on cats.
On cats. He
Cats.
On
hated cats
cats.
so much that he
He
said,
hated
you
cats
know
so
what?
much.
They just need to die.
Well, no, not necessarily. Gregory never specifically went around and was like, "Hey, you should kill your cats." What really happened was he was like looking at these new satanic groups that were popping up all over Germany. And what he said was the following rites of this sect are carried out. When any novices be receiving among them enters the sect of the damned for the first time, the shape of a certain frog or toad appears to him. Some kiss this creature on the hindquarters and some on the mouth. They receive the tongue of saliva and beasts inside their mouth. Sometimes it appear endirely large and sometimes equivalent to a goose or a duck. Sometimes even assumes the size of an oven. At length, when the novice has come forward, he is met by a man wondrous pallor who has black eyes and is so emaciated and thin since his flesh has been wasted. Then remain only skin drawn over bone. The novice kisses him and feels cold ice. And after the kiss, the memory of the Catholic faith totally disappears from his heart. Afterwards, they sit down to a meal, and when they have arisen from it, the certain statue, which is usually a set of this kind, a black cat, descends backwards with its tail erect. First the novice, then the master, then each of the order who are worthy and perfect kiss the cat on its buttocks, and then each return to its place, speaking certain responses, then incline their heads towards the cat. Forgive us, say the master. The one next to him repeats this, and third responding, we know, master, for says, and we must obey. So he set out and said that.
I feel like we need to break down what was just said. So, first of all, he wasn't. Are we sure they were satanic, or were they just licking toads' asses and getting high as balls?
Right?
That's the thing. Like, there's no actual like. It was in 1200. It was in the 13th century. The records are spotty to say the least. But the thing was, a lot of people who were loyal to the Catholic Church and who were loyal to Pope Gregory the Ninth specifically were like, oh, well, he thinks that black cats carry the soul of Lucifer and do the deeds of these evil satanic cults. So what do? They start just offing their cats. As this goes along, the cat population starts to decrease. Well, what do
Man,
cats do in a general sense?
They eat mice.
they fuck like rabbits.
So for a couple hundred years, people are like, nope, no cats. Well, then in the 1300s, guess what happens? A new wave of the Black Death.
That makes sense. So, yeah, so some old Catholic bastard saw somebody lick a toad, get super stoned, and went, damn, that pussy diabolical. And then everyone died.
Right. He wrote this whole thing, man. Like, yeah, cats are bad. We should, like, not trust the cats.
Right.
And then everybody took that as, oh, well, we should kill the cats.
This guy already pissed
So
me
there
off
are two
because
types
as a
of
fellow
people.
cat owner, as you know, or cat daddy,
Yeah,
whatever
me
you want to
too.
call it.
Right. We're all cat
Right, me
fathers
too.
in this group.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly, and that's
Motherfucker
why
needs to
this is
die.
so interesting. Well, considering he's been dead for.
Well, I'm glad he is. I mean, that was
Well, fuck,
that was a bad judgment.
I'll still unbury him and kick his undead ass.
I will
But
find a
yeah.
way to satanically resurrect him just so I can put him back in the
There
ground
you
myself.
Like, oh,
Just to spite him, I will join the Church of Satan, conduct necromancy, and then beat him with a scratching post.
Every resume, every
As
cover
I'm sitting
letter.
in the background petting my cat.
Victor of. All I was gonna say is literally just like Lukrious versus Gregory. Victor Lukrious on every
Right.
cover letter I ever do now.
oh, here we go. Before we dive into the war, it's essential to understand where it came from.
Do it as like a French
He-
maid with cat ears and be like, meow meow, motherfucker.
So this Conrad of Marburg, he was a papal inquisitor of Gregory's, and he was getting this information through, guess what? Confession. People were saying stuff like, I was on my way home yesterday evening, tired after a long day, and I heard a croak. A massive toad as large as a dog, standing 10 foot 8. It hopped near and approached me. Go on, Conrad encouraged. It was unnatural. I've never seen a toad this large. When it reached me, a pale man appeared. I don't know where the man came from or who he was. He wanted me to kiss him. Yes, kiss him. From that moment on, I forgot all about God and the church.
I'm just imagining the frog from the Warner Brothers cartoons just coming out of the shadows like, hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my...
And then all of a sudden, there's a Satanist standing there like, hey, kiss me.
No, it's the dude that was following the frog around in the cartoons. Like, he dances, I swear.
He can talk, I swear. He does it. He comes out of the corners with him. All you see is a little cane sticking out, like, Come around the corner, this big ass frog man. Hey, big boy.
And this actually, this didn't just stop with cats. This led to huge witch hunts, which actually created the job witch hunter.
Ah. But that has to be the easiest fucking job ever. You're not even really looking for them. You're not even looking for them. You can literally just choose any random person you just deem to see that you don't like for any reason whatsoever.
She sneezed 3 times.
She's
and
a
her
witch!
eyes never closed. She's a witch.
Saw this woman do math.
Burn
With a
her!
snake.
She's a witch.
Also, like, think of the logic of a witch hunter. Like, hey, if we throw this chick in a lake and she floats, she's a witch, and we need to kill her. But if she drowns and dies, whoops!
She wasn't a witch.
Exactly. Not even a whoops. It's not even a shit to give for their lives. It was just straight up again, like I feel like, fucking, I don't know. But I'm allowed to say the Monty is what I was thinking, but I didn't know.
Oh, Monty Python.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if that's.
Talk about that.
I mean, we can say Monty Python. It's a dude.
Right. But I'm just thinking of his movie and appearance in my mind in that scene. I'm thinking, did that really, like, I feel like that is not very far from what probably did happen. Just somebody saying
She weighs
randomly,
as much as a duck.
right? Or even just somebody being like, "Oh, she turned me into a frog, and I prayed to God, and now I'm better." So I do have this weird taste in my mouth, but that's about it. Like, dude just ate some puss and just decided he didn't like that no more. So he said he turned me into a frog.
The hair in his mouth still remains.
Yeah,
Dude
like
gets fucking herpes, and he's like, Satan.
Exactly. Exactly. Any reason at all. She's smarter than me, or she said anything besides "yes, sir."
Right, she's a witch, and like honestly, so I was watching this documentary about the Salem witch hunts, and there's a theory that, like, they can't prove it, but there's a bunch of historians that think the Salem witch hunts just started because somebody got bored and just started fucking around, and it got way out of hand.
I'm starting to, that little rumor in school about somebody you don't like, and then like a couple weeks later, they come in with a gun, kind of thing.
It'd be like starting the rumor about somebody you don't like, and then a couple weeks later, the principal from 2 schools over comes in with a gun.
Oh my god!
Wow. My lawyers just emailed me.
Oh,
about my settlement. So that's going to be interesting to read later on tonight.
I know you said celibate, the settlement, but what I heard was celibate.
Yeah.
So I was confused on why your lawyer would know anything about your celibacy.
My lawyer just messaged me. I'm not allowed to fuck no more.
Oh, damn.
Even
I
though I
am now
haven't done
legally
that,
required to wear a chastity belt.
I don't think I'll ever have to have that problem because
my
one,
God.
I'm not my cousin Logan that has 3 kids and doesn't know how to stop keeping in his pants.
I mean, pull out
He
game
needs
is
the
pull out
pants
game.
police.
You suck at it. Like,
He does need a pants police.
I mean, 9 out of times out of 10,
He has 5 kids from 2 different women now.
what you do is you pull, and then you don't have that. It's not very hard to just be like, nope.
But
I mean,
okay,
the
so
best way to do it is not do it.
Another thought in my head another thought that just popped in my head about this Pope Gregory motherfucker.
Right. Category.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm still thinking
about
about it. I'm still thinking about it, and like, if this guy could just see the chain of events that would have
That's not
taken
even
place.
the worst part about this, though, Tim.
What the
I haven't got to the worst part about this.
Okay. Let's see. Keep going with it.
His
Oh, good.
full
It gets
name-
worse.
His full name is Ugolini di Conti, born in Anagani, Italy, 1170.
The dude was literally
He sounds
born
like
a
he needs to
cunt.
be.
Great.
I have a very good friend named Biggest Dickus.
Hey. When John calls and goes, I'm gonna have to ask y'all kindly to fuck off. That's not gonna be anything to do with me.
Okay, so how does this? So how does this get worse?
Right. Is it just the name, or like where's the other half that we're missing from the story?
The dude's already like second-handedly like caused the Black Plague round 2.
Right.
Not necessarily. I mean,
It didn't.
People
It didn't
just-
help the fact.
Well,
I'm
he
sure
really-
it's gonna
well,
happen.
I'm not
but-
saying he directly caused the Black Plague. I'm saying like he was the dude that looked at this line of dominoes and went, click, and then everyone died. Like,
A little poke.
second round. Remember, second round.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was the Black
Right.
Plague 2, Electric Boogaloo, and then there were caskets.
Right.
But it's weird that it happened 100 years later. So this stuff went on for a long time.
There's a lot of dominoes.
Right.
Hey, people were killing their cats for 100 years because they thought God told them to.
God
According to
created
my
them.
sources, that's what I have read on like multiple sources.
Oh
Now I found
no!
one troll who wrote an article and was like, "No, none of this is true." But I mean, I wasn't there. Like I said, 13th century. But
Oh no!
three sources wrote the story. This guy wrote the Voxorama as a message to the king of Germany at the time and was like, "Hey, they're using toads and cats in these satanic rituals. Cats can't be trusted. They carry the spirit of Lucifer." And people were like, "The Pope said the cats were bad. What do we do? Off the cats." And so they started offing their cats.
Right, but a lot of the story includes toads. So I'm assuming, why are the toads also getting the same treatment, or maybe they are?
Because
It's
the
just not
toads were
put in there.
supposed to be the man.
That's
the man.
the drugs. They were licking the
Oh.
toads, man. They were
Licking
getting
the
high as
toads,
shit off the
licking the toads, and blame it on the
The
cat.
toads were turning into Satan himself.
Like,
to
I can imagine just
tell God-
grabbing a toad and be like, "It was the cats that made me do it." Yep, it was. The toad said so. Toad said it was the cats. Going with the cats.
I mean, obviously the
So-
toads aren't going to blame themselves.
So do you see where I'm really getting to the story? We found the first round of toad licking.
This was the first war on drugs.
Oh my god.
Literally a war on drugs.
Just imagine, like being a pope or being a villager that's like, yeah, the Pope says your cat's sketchy. What were they gonna do? Expect to come home and there's the cat with the knife?
So yeah, they didn't know what their cats were doing while they were away. So
Being a
I mean,
cat.
Satanism, obviously.
I'm sure. I mean, I guess it's part of it. Egyptians worshipped them like gods, so I mean, why not be Satan gods?
We still worship them like gods. Most of the people that own cats are allergic to cats, but they still keep the damn cats anyway.
Allergic to
tell
the
me why I
cat's
keep looking
saliva.
for my cats.
They're not allergic to the fur or the smell. It's just the saliva of a cat is what they're allergic to.
Where are my cats?
I mean, look,
Me, it's just a dandruff.
right? Like that's what it was for me. It was like a tactile allergen.
I mean, I get it. I get really shitty allergies regardless when it comes
Bruh,
to fall.
same.
So
Same.
I always make a joke to everybody when I see somebody. It's like they ask me, "Are you feeling sick?" I was like, "No, I'm just allergic to death."
I'm
All the
allergic to
plants are
death.
dying.
Hey, me too. What a coincidence.
Or we just found the first case of elitism, where one group was like, "Hey, we don't like what they're doing, so we'll just tell you that you're bad."
Now, the first
And
case of
another
elitism was how long has Europe been a country?
800 years before us.
There you go.
Europe as a whole,
But we
never.
did I
But
say that out loud?
fractions, yes.
God damn it! I just. How long has Europe been a country? Well, dumbass.
Yeah.
I mean,
Longer
yeah.
than you've been alive.
Well, no, it's like because it reminds me of like. So I was playing Assassin's Creed one time, and Aaron comes downstairs and he sees me playing Assassin's Creed. And this was before he like really got into Assassin's Creed. He was like, "Hey, what you playing?" And I go, "Oh, Assassin's Creed." And he's like, "Oh, where does it take place at?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just roaming around Italy." He's like, "So does it take place in the entire state of Italy?" I was like, "Oh,
I mean,
Italy's a country."
technically speaking, he wasn't wrong, but also, Timmy, can you say Assassin's Creed one more time?
Assassin's Creed.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
What the fuck?
Awesome.
No, you said it like 8 times. I just wanted to hear the ninth. That was it.
Assassin's Creed. There's a 10th, motherfucker. It's a round number.
But okay, so technically speaking, he's not wrong because the state of Italy would also be calling it like the state. The state of Italy, is he asking like state as in U.S. state of Italy, or is he asking like what is the state of
I
Italy?
mean, we're the
Oh, he was
states of
asking like the
United.
territory
Ah,
state.
Yes, the territory of the whole state of Italy. Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, she's kicking. I'll say that.
I can't believe
That's
that.
a
Go on
lame ass
your-
joke. I'm glad Timmy laughed at
Entire
it. It's a
country
pity
of
laugh.
Europe.
I take it.
Like for solidarity, I have to leave that soundbite in. I hate it. I hate that I just said that.
Fuck you all. You can't make fun of me. I make fun of myself way more often.
Right.
Can anybody tell me what the ball Italy's about to kick is?
Yeah.
I don't know. It cut out.
What to
Yeah.
my face?
Cut out, Timmer.
What's that? He asked
Repeat.
what is the ball Italy is kicking? Me.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually Google Maps and looking because I really don't know, and I don't want to be wrong.
It's Sicily.
It's
The boot is
Sicily.
kicking
Everyone
Sicily.
knows.
Is that entire island Sicily?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I legitimately did not know the entire. I mean, again, I'm American. Okay, do you really think I know anything geographical, even in my own country?
Have you ever not wanted to go to Europe?
Yeah, Deutschland.
Alright, you
explains
know
a lot.
what? I think the four of us need to do Euro trip.
We do. That'd be good.
Ew.
That's Ireland to Great Britain, Russia around.
If you're gonna drag my ass there, we're gonna have to go find my relatives up there.
We're
Actually,
starting in Scotland and going
half
all
of
the
that
way
trip
down to
is
Italy.
completely
Sicily.
off limits. Well, half of that trip's completely off limits right now. Beside the
That's
Not if
Well,
you bring a shotgun.
That's just.
That's
the- It's technically Asia. People keep forgetting that Russia is actually on 80, like almost 70% of Asia, the continent of Asia.
Yeah, see, like I don't consider like if you're Russian, I consider you to be Asian.
Because technically speaking, and geographically speaking, yes, you're correct with that word. You are in the Asian continent.
Continent, right?
Yeah, but not if you
Like all Russians are to me is just photocopied Mongolians. That's it.
Okay.
I just call myself a Hein 57.
A little bit of
I
everything.
just recently found out there's a relative in the Blythos somewhere past, a few decades past, basically got with an Asian. So there's probably a chance I got Asian blood running through my veins. So that's interesting.
Oh, I mean,
The German and everything's going to push that back in the corner too. The Germans, the native, and the English is the only thing that's basically pushing everything else to the
God, I'm gonna love editing this podcast episode.
No, we don't need those genes. You can stay in the genetic, like down in the lower area.
Get to the back of the gene bus.
The weird thing, though, I really don't understand a lot, or not necessarily understand. It's just never been talked about. But we gotta think about this too. In America, right? You have your what we call the North, people that live in the northern states versus people who live in the southern states. It's obviously much diversion between the cultures of the southern states versus the northern states, right? So in other countries, I'm assuming it is similarities, right? There's, especially countries that run north to south, like we were talking about Italy earlier, runs north to
North
south.
Korea, South Korea, yeah, they've got some pretty strong differences.
There's that, but that's again two different countries. I'm talking about like the same country, just the northern versus the southern, or even the eastern versus the western side.
Yeah.
Russia, on the other hand, is one of those countries I don't hear anything about besides just Russia as a whole. I never hear like, oh yeah, that's just East Russia, or oh, that's just North, Siberian Russia, whatever. I don't ever hear a lot lot about the
because
differences.
nobody lives in Siberian Russia.
I know,
not
nobody
even the
does.
Russians live in Siberian Russia. And that's saying something.
Well, do they
the
not
ones
still
that,
have? Do
if
they not
they
have
do,
active
are
prisons
living there. They're only
anymore?
visiting.
Do they not have prisons? Are there no workhouses?
I thought maybe they still had prisons in Siberia at least. Gulags in Siberia.
I think at the moment they're just like still in the box phone status, at least to the satellite.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Pope Greg. Old
I think they're the
Greg,
only ones using payphones.
I shall be calling him. So old Greg, 100 years of just people murking their cats, which in and of itself is a chore, because you got to go through all 9 lives of those little bastards. For cats. So cumulatively, that's like 900 years of just cat slaughter. I'm happy it ended, but who? Who was the savior that was just like, hey guys, maybe this isn't such a good idea?
Yes.
Probably after they forgot about the Pope.
After the second wave of the Black Plague. They were just like, yeah, satanic cats are bad. But these rats are fucking us up.
Right, maybe we should take care of that.
What animals were animals that take the hunt rats? That would have been the cats. We'll get the cats back.
Yeah.
I'm sure wheels started turning eventually where they're like, you know what, guys?
Even though
we
in the
could've-
late 1400s, cats were being killed as being believed to be witches.
What the fuck?
we could have messed up.
Honestly,
I wonder. Yeah, I'm very curious on Timicus's fucking question there of wondering when did it stop and by whom? Because the Pope was the one who made the declare. So would it make sense for the Pope of X amount of years
the Pope
ahead?
never went and told anybody to start killing their cats.
No,
Right. Okay, but he
Also-
insinuated it. You can't say
Right.
he insinuated
they were
the
used
idea.
in these rituals, and people are like, "Well, that must mean that they're bad."
Okay,
Right.
but let me tell you this. So hypothetically, let's say there's a dude in, I don't know, let's put this situation in Germany, right?
Right.
And he gets on a podium and says that, not directly at first, but he says that, maybe the Jews are responsible for some sketchy shit.
I wasn't thinking you were going to
be
go
careful
there.
what you say next, because he did say some stuff about them too. But
Oh my
I wasn't
God.
going there.
Oh my God, I was not expecting to go into, 1938 or 37 actually.
And
fucking
he did
timeline.
send that decree to a German king, so I
There
don't know
we
what the
go.
conversation
I mean, he
has just
did.
become, but
He did while we all know the history of it as well. I'm sure as sure as well as the others, so we know what he did. But in recognition though of what happened with the old Pope, and
The reason why Hitler went all AWire because someone killed his fucking cat.
You know
The
what?
reason Hitler went AWire is because they wouldn't let him into fucking art school.
Exactly. That was the whole
He threw
cause.
the biggest temper tantrum history has ever seen. It didn't even make sense.
I would
Like,
kill this cat, and it just broke it.
He was too lazy. He was too lazy to go into it. Honestly, that was the reason why he wasn't good enough. Or was it his father? Which one? Which one of the two reasons was it? And I love how this conversation went straight from like killing cats from the Pope
to Jews.
You know what? Let's talk about the one guy we all hate equally.
Because okay, so they're this.
And who is that again?
It's the same like scenario. Because you got one white dude in power who's like, this group of people is acting sketchy, and because of his words, he got an entire nation or country or whatever riled up, and they just started killing shit. And you look to the 1940s, white dude with power. It didn't like Nazism didn't start out directly with, "Hey, go kill Chaim over there." It was the fascist party. So all he had to say was like, this group of people is up to some sketchy shit. And then civilization went,
Yeah, but that whole fiasco was mainly because of the treatment of Germany after the First World War. If the world did not treat them as badly, I don't think they would have stood with that certain individual as bad. Because he took advantage of that man took advantage of a very broken people and gave them someone to hate.
Are you saying that the cats were not being taken advantage of? That the peasants, the working class of the Middle Ages were not a disposed people? Look, I might be like only partially Sicilian, but I am 100% poor, and
I'm not blaming.
I will not let you slander my people like that. We're tricked into murdering our cats.
Okay.
Never the cat.
Like, damn well this conversation went to something else entirely, but all right.
There's an entire generation. There's multiple generations. If it was lasting until the 1400s, there's a lot of people who died, got to the pearly gates, and St. Peter went, "Oh."
Yo.
You think you're getting into here? No.
Yeah, sorry.
You killed one of my creations.
No.
Oh my god. You know what? Yeah. But then again, I feel like the reason why it went on so long.
Burned an effigy of a cat at her inauguration.
I just understand that shit though. Honestly, was because the whole start of the killing of cats is him saying that he believes that the cats are connected to Satan and therefore they are up to sketchy shit. But along the lines of the years and years that have passed, that this tradition, we'll call it, has continued. I feel like it has that same concept of like the test theory where someone threw monkeys into a cage and then would beat them relentlessly if they were to ever climb a ladder to a banana. And they learned never to climb a banana. Yeah.
Yeah, but
this whole test theory of this is this though. I know they don't know. I was waiting to real quick. So yeah, that's what they did. The scientists would beat these monkeys anytime they would climb the ladder to reach a banana. Right? They would feed them. They'd feed the monkeys. They wouldn't starve them. But if they were ever to go up there and grab it, they would beat them. So what they did was they added new monkeys in, right? So these new monkeys don't know nothing of what has happened before. So they naturally will try to climb the ladder to get the banana. The monkeys who have been taught to not do that, but have never been explained why, will then beat the new monkeys when they try to climb the ladder.
I mean, not wrong, because he was just like, hey, these Satanists are using these cats in these rituals. And like I said, everybody just took everybody who was close to the church was like, oh no, God's going to be mad at us if we keep the cats. And their solution was, kill the cats.
Exactly. But
once again, my whole thing was like, the Pope...
changed ever?
No one ever took the time to think, but...
Why though?
Didn't God make the cat?
Well, my whole thing is
why,
like, what about toads?
And exactly.
Pope specifically said, I saw these people licking toads and doing sketchy shit.
Again,
why was nobody tap dancing on a frog?
He was never in there to see it. This was coming through confessions.
Oh, well, yeah.
Confessions. So
Inquisitor.
A lot of this is just hearsay. A lot of it's hearsay, and people are just believing it to be true. But I'm just saying, through the years and years of time, I'm sure the reasoning why they killed, were to kill them would probably maybe change. You know, like the experiment that you take with in class, right? Where you have a whole line of students in a line. You tell them the student one side, a single word, and they didn't have to tell that same word along the line, and end up coming out something totally different at the end of the line, right? So I'm assuming over the years and over the teachings of this, it probably has changed over the years. They may not even believe that they're killing cats because if it's satanic. They could be believing they're killing cats for like a good harvest or whatever. Like I just imagined
a father and son walking down the road, seeing a random cat, and the father just punt kicking the cat into like an alley or something. And the son's like, "Dad, why did you do that?" And the dad's just like, "I don't fucking know." And they keep on moving.
Yep.
Stop beating the monkeys on the ladder.
Stop beating the monkeys on the ladder.
Yes. Learn something new every day.
and at the end of the day, isn't that what we're here for? Education.
I mean,
educational purpose. We didn't say it was good education. We just said education. Didn't have to say it was good or even relevant.